Hey, how we all doing? As you can see, I am by my lonesome tonight. That is because Kim is still not doing her best. Actually, she's a lot better than what she was, but we'll get into that a little bit later. As you can see, she is in the chat. She will be there as long as she can. As she gets dizzy or looking at that screen, it could actually mess her up. So she will be in and out of the chat all night. But anyways, we're gonna go at it. I mean, might as well just get into the week. We'll get into the week on the other side of the show. Let's get this thing started because this can be fun night. Maybe if I can remember how to do. You think I'd remember how to do this all the time, but here we go. Hey, welcome to Use and Views. I'm Scott. Normally I'm with Kim, but unfortunately, due to circumstances that happened last week, she's not here. But this is episode 155, and it's just a chill stream tonight. And there's a reason why, but we'll get into that here in a little bit. How's everybody doing tonight? I definitely had a crazy freaking ass week since our last episode. But before we do, let's go ahead and shout out the chat. We got Dragon Buddy. We've got Kimberly. We got Lunar Girl. We got Tom Jensen. And we got Don from the Escape Pod. Welcome, 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 everybody. And this is going to be, again, like I said, it is kind of different. But as we say in show business, the show must go on, regardless if we're missing a host or not. And there's Nicole. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Mikey. Okay, wait. Mikey. My son-in-law's here. Where the hell's my daughter? Brat. Anyways, this ought to be really freaking fun tonight. We're just going to chill. We're going to talk about everything kind of went on with Kim. And then we're going to just talk about some nerd things. And we're going to talk a little bit about music that's been going around a little bit lately. And of course, we're going to have a somber note because unfortunately, over the weekend, we did have a passing, at least in the country music industry. I didn't see it until I guess I probably saw it Sunday after I turned everything back on from social media. But we're gonna go over everything. So this ought to be fun. So before we do, you know how Kim always likes to do the the good part, the business end of the show. So I will do as best I can. Here we go. Thank you, our patrons. Oh my gosh, and I can't even speak tonight. See, this is how this show's gonna go. It's already off the fucking rails. Lunar Girl and Dragon Buddy, Don Dallas Solski, Brady Big Levin, Hannah, Mikey, Brindley, and Case, and of course our newest member, Nicholas Schaefer, better known as Backyard TARDIS. Please follow him on the YouTube. He will definitely have you in stitches and learning about locksmithing. Locksmithing is freaking awesome. Join our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/usedabusedpod. Search for Use and Views Pod today on all of your favorite podcast apps, including Apple, Google, Audible, and on Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. We are a proud member of the Red 5 Network. Try that again. We're a proud member of the Red 5 Network. Go to red5network.com to find more exciting podcasts. And it is time. Soon I'm going to get used to doing all this stuff, guys. It is time. Are you ready for this?
This podcast is part of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts, visit red5network.com.
And it is time for the Red 5 Roundup. And to do that, we're going to bring in the social media director of not only the Sidebar Cantina, also helper of the Escape Pod, but also the curator of everything going on with Red 5, Luna Girl.
Hi, friends.
How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Doing good. Best I can be now.
Yeah,
better now
absolutely.
than was over the weekend.
Absolutely. It was a crazy weekend. Jeepers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I do have Who Is Up After You tonight. And at 8 o'clock, we're going to have Rogue One Radio talking about Moon Knight episode 5. And tonight it's going to be Steve and Nicole and special guest Dragon Buddy. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have ATSW, the Escape Pod. They're going to be talking about 45 years of A New Hope because tomorrow is May the 4th be with you. After that, at 8 o'clock, we're going to see War of the Stars, and they're also going to have a special May 4th podcast. At 8 o'clock, also Eastern, 97 Bravo is going to have a gaming session on his YouTube channel and his Twitch. Probably Halo Infinite. That's usually what he plays on a Wednesday night, but dealer's choice. So he could change that up too. At 9:15, we have Blake hosting Dork Wars Live, and that will be a very special celebratory May the 4th chill stream. And at 11 p.m., we have Sarlacc Digest, and they will be having May the 4th trivia over there on the West Coast. That would be 11 o'clock Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific time. On Thursday, we have at 8 p.m. the Salty Nerd podcast with Matthew Kadish doing his bad writing episode. Also on the 97 Bravo YouTube and Twitch, we are having the Star Wars The Old Republic gaming sesh with Mr. 97 Bravo himself, General Shinobi, a Mandalorian, and me, Lunar Girl the Merciless. We're going to get all down and Sithy. See
right
what
on.
kind of mischief we can raise. Let's see. On Saturday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will have Scarif Live, possibly. It's a little bit up in the air right now because Ro, Podfather, Pod Daddy, Scuttle Daddy, he's known by a lot of different names. He is actually in Virginia right now as we speak. So it all depends on, his Wi-Fi coverage and everything. On Sunday at 4 p.m., we have Galaxy of Queers reviewing the Multiverse of Madness with Mr. Rowe himself. At 7 p.m., we have the Red 5 Gaming channel on YouTube and Twitch with another Star Wars, The Old Republic gaming sesh. Also at 7 o'clock, we have Comics and Cosmetics doing the series finale of Moon Knight with Joker Voice and myself. So busy week in Red 5. Busy week in Red 5.
Definitely busy week in Red 5.
Definitely
busy
week in Red 5.
Last week when you sent me all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I knew that was sesh.
Yeah.
And for the life of me, when I'm reading it just did not come. I'm like, what the hell? What's going on with the sidebar?
We also have some sidebar Cantina news. Well, Cantina family news, as we like to refer to. This coming Wednesday, ATSW The Escape Pod, as I said, we'll be celebrating Star Wars Day with 45 years of A New Hope. Join Don Della Snooch, Brady Big Lovin', and Dragon Buddy in their live chat at 7:05 p.m. Eastern to catch all the chat shenanigans, as we like to call them.
Right.
We already talked about Lunar Girl the Merciless in the Star Wars The Old Republic gaming sesh on Thursday. The Orange and Fetch Show just released episode 29, The Attack of the Clones, which they just did maybe an hour or two ago. I just saw the flash go over my phone. Subscribe to them on Spotify, give it a listen, and you'll also be notified of upcoming releases like I got.
Exactly.
Big Swede is gearing up for a huge release. So if you're not already following him on Instagram and Discord, now is the time to do that. Swede Studios, huge release in the very near future. And there will be a live stream. So speaking of Swede Studios, I just got some Happy Meal.
Right on.
He made up these awesome guitar picks.
Hell yeah.
Peace is a lie. There is only passion.
Nice.
And if that wasn't enough, because you know that excited me, I got little tiny pieces of confettis. And one more. See? Cool confettis. Right because on. I wasn't able to go to the Tool concert with him a couple months ago. I believe it was February. So he actually thought of me and picked up some of the confettis and mailed it to me. So I have official Tool confettis.
Nice.
Which leads me into my next thing. The Sidebar Cantina this coming Monday will be talking all about Patreon choice. And their choice is Tool.
Right on.
We'll be talking all about Tool. Favorite songs, years, albums, everything Tool. Danny Carey, he's a phenom on the drums. So yeah, check us out at 5:30 p.m. Eastern on Monday. And then finally from the champ himself, Mr. Keith Lehman, it's Magic May in layman's terms. Join the meddling mage of the Magic McDonald's as he breaks down his deck. Grab your Brady brand ice cream and tune into the magic madness. That would be on layman's terms on YouTube. Also follow him on Facebook for updates. And that's all I have.
Whoops. Nice. Yeah, I remember which button to get. There we go. Holy crap. And the cool part is you're actually going to stick around for the whole show. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was gonna do one of those things where like your my Maverick to your Merlin or some shit like that. Like Jason doesn't like. Nah, forget it. And the reason why is like,
yeah, you're not Jason anyway,
like, right? Yeah. Couple hours. I mean, probably 2 or 3 hours ago, we checked out that new Lady Gaga song for Maverick, Top Gun Maverick. It's pretty good.
Nice. How was it?
It was, like I said, it's pretty good. I mean, it's Lady Gaga. I mean, and then Kim was pointing out because I actually had left it on the 80s Sirius XM channel. Mm-hmm. Well, I went outside to finish up pulling the laundry off the line, and they were the DJ guy was talking about how a couple of years ago, Tom Cruise actually contacted Kenny Loggins, and they were talking, and Kenny Loggins was like, "Well, what about Danger Zone making a return into Top Gun Maverick?" And he's like, "It's not Top Gun without Danger Zone."
Right.
Was that Tom Cruise said. So I guess Danger Zone will be making another appearance.
Danger Zone.
Right.
That would be cool. Yeah.
That would be. It would be neat. Oh, let's see here. What the hell? I gotta remember where I'm at now. Besides, there are 37 pods in the Red 5 network.
There are.
And you go to bio.link/Red5 to find them all.
Yes.
You can check again. We just talked about the Cantina family, and of course, Sidebar Cantina had a crossover episode last night with ATSW Escape Pod. Holy shit!
Oh my gosh, we laughed. Us peeps in the chat We laughed so hard. We laughed so hard. It felt like I was doing stomach crunches for 3 hours. It was a great episode.
Oh yeah, there was a few moments where I fucking just couldn't breathe.
Mm-hmm. They started talking about all of the Disney Plus series that have been released on Disney Plus, Star Wars. Then they started talking about, some expectations, headcanons on where they could see Kenobi going, who do they think is going to get involved? And then they had to come up with their own Star Wars Disney Plus show. And it was just hysterical. It was totally off the rails. The chat was off the rails.
Oh, God,
it was... everybody was just completely gone and nonstop laughs. It was so funny.
Yep. We had ideas for a strip club.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Owned by Garza and Fennec Shand, of course.
Right, of course.
Yeah, Garza Flip and Fennec Shand.
Right. Gotta have those two.
Definitely.
And then I mean I liked everybody's, but I think the one that really stuck out to me the most was DB's.
Yeah.
Dragon Buddies, because one, I love Shadow of the Empire video game. I didn't read the book or whatnot, but I did like the video game, so I could definitely see that being made easily into a Disney Plus show.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways,
they were all really good.
Oh God, I mean, and then of course in the chat it got cock and balls, blue penises, and
yeah, that was Thrawn. So we had
well, I mean, at that point there you could actually have Avatar and Thrawn show up because they're both blue cock and balls.
I mean, if you're not watching these episodes on YouTube, you're definitely missing out.
and worst of all, even if you are watching them on YouTube, but you're watching them later, join on Monday night live with us in the chat, because that's when. Sure, I mean, I think on theirs, we found out actually our chat does not show back up after on the replay. I'm like, wow, that sucks. But I know on the sidebar it does show up.
Yeah, usually the chat shows up, about 24 hours later. So
you guys got speed races outside?
Yeah, you would think so. It is not raining at the moment. And so all the, 18-year-old 18-year-olds on their bikes, they think they're so cool passing everybody, but
oh my gosh, I can't wait for Sweet though. I mean, I can't wait till he's back for full stream, because holy crap,
he's about to make a release.
Good.
So I know what's going on.
Good.
But then again, I get first dibs because I knew him before he could play well. So
exactly. And that's how it always works, I mean, but yeah, let's get this real quick. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, click subscribe and then click the bell to be notified when we go live, which is hopefully usually every Tuesday. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Unfortunately, I've got to get better at doing the Facebook and Instagram and Twitter.
It's all about planning.
Yeah,
it's all about planning, Scott. Get yourself a notebook.
Yeah, you're going to have to. You can email us at usedandabusedpod@gmail.com. Just remember that "and" is spelled out AND. And believe me, if I could go back and redo this, it would be just usedabusedpod@gmail.com. But when I first created this, I didn't think of stuff like that. I thought of it's got to have the full name in there.
Yeah.
But of course, Gmail wouldn't let you put the little cheat for "and."
The little ampersand squiggle.
Right. And our website is usedabusedpod.com. There you can find links to all of our episodes, link to the YouTube videos and replays of our live show, link to our merch store, and link to the Patreon, which is under the donate tab. And of course, we keep saying it every week, we do got to come up with new merch. I just failing at it right now.
I'm telling you, that notebook.
Yeah. Actually,
Make a list. Work on the list daily.
Yeah, I wish
It's how we do it.
I wish I knew somebody who could freaking draw really good. That could come up with some really killer ass freaking designs and shit. You know, like maybe like album cover style shit for the pod.
Right.
Cool. Or even movie posters and stuff. But yeah, you can also leave us a message and also click subscribe to be notified by email when new audio only episodes are available. Which I know it works because I get it all every Friday when they drop.
Right.
And the hotline, the voicemail, call 928-719-0749. Leave us a message. We'll play it live on the show. Of course, if it's disgusting and whatnot, we won't play it.
There you go.
But, you know, tell us what you like, what you think, and if you want us to do anything, you know, or try to do other whatever topics. Almost all topics. Let's just cut that to the chase right now. I can see somebody go, well, why don't you guys review Debbie Does Dallas or some shit? Like, yeah, no.
Nothing rated X.
Right. Go to go to tpublic.com, search for Used Abused Pod, all lowercase. And that's our merch store. There are t-shirts, tank top, hoodies, face masks, onesies, coffee mugs, and etc. Pretty much you can put the two logos that we have and you can put them on anything that TeePublic offers. As a reminder, all links are in the show notes pinned to the top of our Twitter page. And go, I fucking still haven't changed it. The got to. I was supposed to change it from last week. Oh, wait, I know.
Oh, I didn't even notice it.
Go to bio.link/used abused pod. Oh, God. I wonder why I forgot to do it last week. I wonder. Oh, Mr. Roskin, Big Lovin'. They've all joined. Oh, look, there's Nightbot.
My brothers, not Nightbot.
Oh, right.
Not Nightbot.
Yep, there goes Tom. Shut up, Nightbot. He's on a little timer to pop up certain things at certain times. And then, of course, if Hector-Lorian was in there, he'd be talking about how him and Nightbot were. Yeah, we won't go there from last week.
Yeah, that was a little weird last week.
That was definitely weird from last week. So, real quick, I have just a little bit of news before we jump into the Kimberly stuff. And this I got on Sunday. I saw it around 2:06 when I finally turned on all my notifications again after the weekend. And it was released on the Judd's Facebook page. And it says, "Today, we sisters experienced a tragedy. We lost our beautiful mother to the disease of mental illness. We are shattered. We are navigating profound grief and know that as we loved her, she was loved by her public. We are in unknown territory. Winona and Ashley." Yeah, unfortunately, Naomi passed away. And then Monday, the Judds were actually inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Oh, boy.
And both Ashley and Winona went. And they got up on stage, and Ashley gave some remarks, and then Winona got up there stating that she didn't plan to say anything because she knew her mother would have said something, but was going to say, would have taken most of the time. And so she hadn't prepared anything for it, but it was really good. I mean,
right. It was from the heart.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah. Rest in paradise.
Yep, the day before. Yep, exactly. Nicole. And then, oh gosh, I forgot the guy's name already. He was an animator I saw passed away too on Sunday. And he did like, wow, really? Can you hit that speed bump any harder out there?
Right.
And you got motorcycles going by. I've got people hitting speed bumps hard.
Oh.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And So at this point here, I think what I want to do is when I hit this first video of Kim. Now, mind everybody. Okay, so after the show, Kim's got real after the show last week. Kim got sick really quick. I mean, vomiting, dizzy. She wasn't able to do anything after our show last week, and so I wanted her to go in then. She argued with me, stubborn. Wednesday, she went to work. She worked from home, obviously, and she was still experiencing some of the dizziness and nausea. Still wasn't really able to keep much down. I'm like, you gotta go to no, I'm not going.
Mm-hmm.
So Thursday, she goes into work again. And about the time would be her lunch break around 4:00 here. She's actually contacting him because she can't even function now.
Mm-hmm.
She's constantly throwing up water. She's not keeping anything down. The screens are spinning on her. And so she has to be released or if she can leave early. And I'm like, we're going to the hospital. We're not playing around no more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unbeknownst to us, getting to the hospital at 5:00 in the afternoon, we were told it was going to be a long wait. You figure 4 hours, maybe, not 10. And the reason why it took 10 hours is actually because our local hospital here, or the whole network system has been attacked by ransomware and being held hostage, and unfortunately, even as of today, I just saw a deal on Facebook where they're still talking about it, that they are still down.
Right.
And people are talking that they can't even make new appointments, which is going to suck because what Kim has to do now. But before that, while we were in the hospital, when we finally so that slowed the hospital down. That's why it took 10 hours for us to be seen. To even get back in the back room. And then when we were back there, the doctor came in after the nurses did all their stuff. Of course, her blood pressure was really high. I know the top number was over 209 at one point. She mentioned that, yes, I mean, I knew they had high blood pressure in their family. Her late sister had it. Her father has it. Her brother had a scare with a heart attack. So, I mean, it's there in this family. This is like it's in my family and whatnot. So they get all this done. And the nurse, like I said, the doctor comes in and she is watching her eyes, and all of a sudden she starts doing these things with her fingers, like they would normally do, like
the neurological examination part.
Right. Thank you. And she asked me if I'd ever seen that. Well, what I saw 2 hours earlier out in the lobby when she was staring right at me. And so after the doctor left for a bit, and she came back from her CAT scans and stuff, I decided, did I do it before? I think I did it before the CAT scan, sorry. Anyways, they had to turn the lights off for her, and I'd asked her, decided to pull it up on my phone, record it. So obviously it won't be portrait, it will be, it'd be portrait, not landscape. So it won't be fully on the screen for the YouTube, but this is what I saw. You're gonna hear me talking pretty much to her, but a few people have seen this video, and me and her talked about it, and we decided to let all of our fans and followers see it too. So here we go. All
right, look over this way. That way. Up. Down. Yeah, your eyes are really fucking tripping.
Yeah. And that wasn't as bad as it was earlier when I first saw it. So I think by then they'd already given her some medication to try to calm it down. So of course, at this point here, we're dealing with, they're talking about these ear crystal stains from previous concussions or even a stroke. And of course, I hear stroke, and I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Here we go. And unfortunately, due to the stroke, they got to have an MRI. Well, to get an MRI, we got to be able to have time in the hospital. So they give her some medications and stuff. Obviously, give her Prince Valium.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the comment of the Beetlejuice moment where, oh, don't worry about her. She's sleeping with Prince Valium. And when the mother's trying to turn the TV off, when the ghosts are trying to scare them.
Mm-hmm.
And Kim turns, obviously, she was feeling better at this point because obviously she turned around and talked about Princess Vespa and Prince Valium.
Mm-hmm.
So she went Spaceballs on me, even though I thought about Spaceballs. I'm like, no, I won't go that far. I'll just go Beetlejuice.
Right.
So the doctor comes back in, says, we got 2 options for you guys. And we hear the options. The first option is to go home on 2 medications, and one being the Valium, and then I think the other one is meclizine one, and to see if that will calm it or control it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, if it doesn't, we're back in a couple days. Or the other option is for her to be admitted, stay overnight for at least 24 hours, so they can do a full stroke evaluation, which would also include doing the MRI.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the route we went. We both talked about it, or she had her mind made up. I had my mind made up, and now we just had to pretty much where we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so Kim wanted to know what I thought, and I told her, I said, honestly, I'd rather you get all this taken care of now than us send you home and come back later.
Right.
I mean, we're here. I'll take care of it now. And so that's what they did. They admitted her into the hospital. Roughly by 11 o'clock, she was in her room. Unfortunately, I had to leave by then because I had errands I had to run that day. And of course, for me, I had I'd gotten up early or decent hour, 6 o'clock in the morning here on Thursday. And now here I am past 6 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been up 24 hours.
Right.
At this point, I mean, pretty much once the Valium really kicked in good, she was out, which is good. Gave her an opportunity to finally sleep. And I was able to go run and do some errands. Well, what she didn't realize is in the afternoon when we had spoke, she forgot to mention to me they already done the MRI. They did it shortly after getting her to her room. But we had to wait for a neurologist to show up. Right. And unfortunately, that didn't happen until Saturday.
Right.
And then, of course, with COVID, they still have their COVID rules in effect. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is the visitation time.
Mm-hmm.
However, like they said to me, with you being her husband, under normal circumstances, you could have been there at 6 a.m. on Saturday.
Right.
But because of the attack, all their walkie-talkies and everything's under the network.
Right.
With the whole network being down, security guards can't radio up to talk to the nurse who could say, yes, let him up.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, even when I was up there with her on Saturday, she pressed the nurse's button. And we waited. When we waited, and finally the nurse came in and wanted to know. Well, by then I had already helped her to the restroom because she couldn't hold no longer. And the nurse is like, I'm so sorry. We have to literally walk the floor now to see if the lights are on above the room because they're not being paged at the nurse's station anymore. Because again, network being down, none of this shit works.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, her main nurse was telling us that when it first went down on Monday, they had lab work that got lost in the whole shuffle of everything. It wasn't maybe the specimens didn't get lost, but the paperwork, the paper trail got lost. The digital paper trail.
Yeah, because everything is in computers now. Everything is scanned, and
right. Which got me to thinking of. I'm sure we're all in this old the upper age group now. We remember the wall of files going into a doctor's office.
Right.
And you don't have that anymore. Kids today they won't ever see that because it is all digital.
Right.
And the problem is when these, when they get cyber attacked like this and get held for ransom, nobody can do anything about it.
Right.
Except for hopefully they don't have to pay it. I know the FBI here has been involved. They've been involved in it, but then again, we're still, we're a week now since it's happened, a week and a day, and it's still down.
Right.
So, they keep talking that they're behind, that we know everything's slower than what it used to be. We apologize. And I was reading people's comments where some people were talking that they've actually tried to call a special, to get in they just got released from the hospital, supposed to call a specialist to set up an appointment, and they won't let them do that.
Right.
So, and this is what brings, like, when Kim, because as time went on, by the time I got there, on Saturday, the physical therapist had already been in, wanted her to go home on a walker, with a walker. I completely understand that. And so they were getting all that figured out with her insurance that they would cover it. If not, we had a friend who had a walker, so it wasn't like we would be SOL and she'd be stuck in the hospital. And they were just waiting for the doctor. And once everybody agreed that she can go home with me, it was fine. And she's supposed to see a specialist.
Right.
Luckily for her, I think the physical therapist she's going to be hooking up with will not be in the same network.
Right.
Hopefully it's out of the hospital network. If it's within the hospital network, then we have to wait and see if she's able to even set up an appointment.
And you could always switch physical therapists too. Like, you don't have to go exactly with the person that they recommend. You can always find a different physical therapist and ask for a prescription of that one.
Right. And well, I think honestly, the prescription for the physical therapist is not for any one specific. It's just for physical therapy, which is good. But anyway, so the results of the MRI was no stroke. Oh,
thank God.
I know everybody within the Red 5 network, the Red 5 family, Sidebar family. I know I have my moments where I have my beliefs and I don't, and I go back and forth. But every so often I do get reminded that, maybe some stuff does work.
Yeah, a lot of prayers were said.
Yes,
a lot of prayers
were
said.
Definitely a lot of prayers were said. And just the reach out from the Red 5 network, the family within the Red 5 family, and also not only the Sidebar Cantina family, but even just friends of the Red 5 network. I was being reached out to people I wasn't expecting to be reached out by. It was crazy. And so unfortunately when all the ones I was reading to Kim while she was still in the ER, I said, well, why don't you say a thank you to everybody? Because everybody's like praying for you. And even like on Saturday, you were wearing our shirt for support. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I changed it for the graduation ceremony, and then I changed right back into it.
Right. And so it was like, oh my gosh. So I asked Kim, I'm like, why don't you say a thank you to everybody? And I think I told her, I just said within the Red 5 network, and but this is so here's her thank you after volume, but she actually does a really good job on this one. I'll give her that much credit. Here we go.
Thank you, everyone in the Red 5 chat and on the Red 5 network, for your thoughts and prayers. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, who are you sleeping with right now?
Huh?
Who are you sleeping with right now?
Prince Valium.
All right. Peace.
Love you all.
Oh gosh, I'm sure she's gonna. All right, we already talked about both of these coming out tonight, but yeah. It was funny.
Oh, I'm so glad everything's okay.
Oh, I'll sit here.
You didn't tell everybody what the final diagnosis was.
The final diagnosis is from being concussed as a youth. Anyways, so it's the crystal things in her ears.
Mhm.
Gosh, I was actually gonna have the paperwork here,
Yeah.
the discharge orders, and I just totally forgot about that one.
Mhm.
I was trying to get all these videos uploaded and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
but yeah, so she'll have to go to see a neurologist. That'll be
Yeah.
the first thing she'll have to do.
And you
And it,
said, like, massive swelling in her inner ear canal, correct?
right, yeah, it's something like that. I'm sure. This is where I wish she was really here.
It's okay, Kim,
Yeah.
rest. Don't worry about it.
No, that's the thing is like, I told her, I said,
Mhm.
regardless, you come back when you're ready to come back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and we were talking about, we got the ladies takeover plus Brady episode
Mhm.
coming up on the boy bands. I said, don't worry, I will host it if I have to.
Yeah, that's not till
I'm,
June anyway.
I know, I know. I mean, it's just a lot. It just depends,
Mhm.
you know, on her. But I'm not worried about a lot of that.
Yeah.
And one of the things I want to bring up, this happened in the waiting room in our 10 hours. There was 2 Border Patrol agents in there,
Mhm.
both with detainees. And I thought, well, this is interesting. And they were waiting to be seen by the hospital staff. Anyways, one of them that we were really close to was approached by a nurse, probably about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
And she had a couple on the other side, a mom and her adult son, who had actually come across the border.
Mhm.
She, I'm assuming, well, if I understood it right, she fell partially off the wall.
Oh, jeez.
And they were trying, anyways, they're going to be seen, but now she's feeling better. She don't want to wait any longer. And they saw the Border Patrol agents, so they want to turn themselves in.
Mhm.
So he gets on his cell phone, calls base, tells them, send somebody here, because I've got, I'm already with somebody. And
Mhm.
this other guy's already with another person. And so think, okay, cool. He'll bring him over. He brought him over to us to where he was at. And he gets a phone call back and brings the nurse over and he explains that they can't detain them
Mhm.
at the hospital. It's a safe zone, just like they
Mhm.
can't detain them in a church. They have to
Right.
wait until they're off that property to be able to do it.
Mhm.
So he had another gentleman, the nurse walked away. He had another gentleman there, explained to them in Spanish if they would just leave the hospital, go on the road, walk straight down the road from the hospital, about 2 miles, roughly, is the Border Patrol place. But before you
Mhm.
even get that far, you're going to see a regular cop
Mhm.
or another Border Patrol agent because they're constantly patrolling our area.
Mhm.
So all you had to do was flag them down. They would detain them at that moment. But the other problem is they weren't from Mexico. They were actually Cuban nationals. And with,
But Cuba
yeah, I know.
and Arizona
Yeah,
next to California,
yeah,
so far away.
right.
How did
And
that happen?
I don't. I must have took another boat.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know, but
Right.
he made the call. He was talking to the gentleman he had speak to them in Spanish that
Mhm.
if they are to be deported, they can't take them back to Mexico
Right.
where the rest of their family, where the rest of her children are at. They would
Right.
actually fly them back to Cuba.
Right.
I guess it's some deal we have with Cuba.
Right.
Like, okay, is this like deal we used to have with Castro?
Yeah.
I
Pretty
mean,
much.
should some of these deals change?
Mhm. I
But it's
think
just
there's still
crazy.
a communist over there.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just crazy. Hey, Alan.
Hi, Alan. Hey, bro.
Can't stay. Just want
Mwah.
to say hello. Yep. We understand, bro. Completely understand, bro.
Mhm.
Thoughts and prayers with you and your family, bro.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I was like, I didn't know these rules.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, it was shocking.
Right.
You know, so yeah, it was kind of an interesting thing to learn while you're in the hospital.
Right. Right.
You know, I mean, who
Real
would think,
life right in front of your face.
right? And who would think
Mm-hmm.
you'd learn something like that in the hospital?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, it was definitely a wild time, a wild night.
Yeah.
Um, Kim is doing good, as good as she
Good.
can be.
Mm-hmm.
She has pretty much anytime she's got to move around the house because unfortunately her walker does not fit down that hallway.
Mm-hmm.
It is too wide.
Mm-hmm.
And so her walker is me.
Right. Right.
Which is fine because I enjoy it. I go down there, I hold her hand. She'll get up, stand, focus,
Mm-hmm.
turn, focus.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we make mosey down, so if she has to stop, we'll stop and whatnot.
Right.
But she keeps focusing either to come out here
Mm-hmm.
or to use the restroom. But yeah, I mean, she's been sleeping a lot, which is good.
Yeah.
It,
It's the best way for her to heal.
right.
Is sleep. Yeah.
Right. I mean, they got her on, she's probably gonna have to type some of this in there. But meclizine, and that's for dizziness. She takes that anytime she's feeling dizzy,
Mm-hmm.
at least 3 times a day. They have her on a tapered off prednisone schedule.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we started at 60 milligrams, and today we went down to 50.
Right. And that would help the inflammation.
Mm-hmm. And then, damn it, she's on the same blood pressure medication I am. And I don't remember the fucking name.
That's terrible.
That is terrible. Well, you know, the funny thing is, like, anytime I've ever gone to the doctor's office, I've actually literally had to open my phone, pull up my app for the medical service here, and look at my meds and say, what the hell I'm on.
Yeah, I have all my stuff in my app as well.
Because I don't remember.
God forbid I get in a car accident and I show up at somebody's emergency room, they can just go into my phone and they know who I am and what I'm on. So
right, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And yeah, so so other than that, I mean, she's doing really good. Which kind of ironic. The other night, and I'm gonna shock everybody with this one because everybody knows I'm like way behind. I'm not even close to being caught up on the whole MCU universe. You know, I mean, I've seen a few movies here and there, but the other night on HBO, at middle of the night, Incredible Hulk was on.
Right.
How the hell I'm gonna be up for a few minutes. I wasn't planning on staying up and watching the whole damn thing. Well, come to find out after watching it and then trying to watch it next day with Kim, I missed maybe the first 5 minutes of the movie when I turned it over there. I'm like, pretty good.
Yeah.
And
it was pretty good.
But Kim made it about 45 minutes through the movie and we had to shut it off. And that's where she's having an issue now is she can't watch a lot of stuff on TV.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Like even with concussion protocol, is no screens, no TV, no cell phone, no computer, because all of that messes with your brain and stuff like that. So it makes a lot of sense. Like if her body is, mimicking concussions from the past and stuff like that. So I can make sense out of that.
Yeah, and of course this whole episode's got me worried now.
Yeah.
Because I got hit, let's see, in my first years in Lily, a coach threw a ball, hit me right through a ball. I wasn't looking because he was tired of me talking to my neighbor. And as soon as I turned towards it, here comes the ball, smacked me right in the fucking head, right in the eye. And then, of course, during high school years, we used to do this thing called turtle fuck, where you would take your helmet off and slam it onto someone else's head.
Jeez.
While they had their helmet on. And believe me, there was enough ringing in there. I'm like, wonder how many times I've been concussed and didn't realize it, you know?
Right.
Or like I was telling Kim, being in the offensive line, I mean, I love how the NFL and everybody's really taking serious these concussions, but all the flags are against everybody tackling and stuff, but everybody forgets about what the fuck goes on in the offensive line.
Right.
With the defensive line. I mean, your button heads are hard.
Yeah.
And believe me, you're using your head as a weapon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the whole point is to try to make the other guy ring so you can shove him back harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's got me a little worried on my end too. Especially when I was looking some of this stuff up, it's like a lot of it hits around 50 years old.
Right.
Like, damn it. I'm 50. Really?
I'm sure you're fine.
Oh yeah.
It's a rare occurrence, so
Definitely. And yeah, so right now she's on these medications. Hopefully we can get her in to see specialist, a neurologist again, and get her into a physical therapy.
Right.
Because these pills are going to run out. They gave no refills. So
yeah, they never do.
Yeah.
And probably like a follow-up with her primary care physician too, right?
Well, that's the other thing is we've got to get her one.
Yeah.
See, ever since she started working and got her health insurance, I've been honored to go to the doctor, find a doctor. You're getting up there in age, you got to start having these yearly checks.
Yeah.
And nope.
Just call the number on the back of the insurance card.
Yeah, that's what we got to do. And but it's been an exciting weekend, y'all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Keeping in contact with everybody. And it was one of those moments where I know my phone kept blowing up with just regular social media stuff. I'm like, I've got to shut the shit off.
Yeah, definitely.
Because what really happened was on Friday, after I got home from doing all this stuff and then talking to Kim around 2:00 in the afternoon and getting done by 3, I fell asleep.
Right.
I finally crashed. I mean, I think at one point I think I told you and DB, I've been up over 29 hours.
Right.
And that was around probably 11:00 our time.
Absolutely.
So I was up even a little longer. And I finally crashed, and yet I always have the little button, the silence button on my phone off.
Right.
Because everything keeps, it's not just because of those, but it's just like, okay, I don't need sounds. I look at it enough. I don't need to always know when something's coming through.
Yeah, definitely.
But the problem is when I do that, it shuts off my ringing for my phone. And it shuts off the ringing and text messages. So, of course, 6 hours later, I finally get up around 9:30 our time here. And here's 3 or 4 missed or text messages and 2 or 3 missed calls. And none of them from Kim, thank goodness. But at the same time, I was like, okay. And then I kind of got in a little bit of trouble because we need you to be answering the phone. We call, well, I'm sorry. You try to do this for X amount of freaking hours and see how much sleep you get.
Right.
Or how quickly you crash. But at that moment, I knew it was time. I needed to shut down social media. I needed to shut down notifications on everything.
Yeah.
And so that's why that's why those of you that follow the Instagram, it goes from Instagram to Facebook to Twitter, all knew I put a thing out saying social media shut down, and I'll explain why later, or I think it's the next episode or whatever.
Right.
Which that is this episode.
Right.
But yeah, Kim got released Saturday afternoon. We went to Walmart to get her pills. Thank goodness. And got her home, and all day Sunday she slept. Of course, she's one of those ones where the minute she starts sleeping a lot, I don't want to sleep. No, you sleep. You sleep. I don't want to wake you. Then she would pull off. I don't want to wake you up in the middle of the night if I have to use the restroom. Like, you better wake me up in the middle of the night.
Well, yeah. What's the alternative, Kim?
try to walk down the fucking hall herself. I mean, I know the walls are there. I mean, but you know, the thing is as each day's gone by,
yeah.
you know, she only has to use me on a couple of areas where there's a gap, where
Yeah.
there's not like where she can't use both walls, or
Yeah.
and she's actually gotten really good at even walking through our bedroom, where I mean, I'm behind her, I'm just waiting, but she's gotten really good. So
Right.
she's getting better.
Good.
And the unfortunate part of all this is that the doctor only gave her off until tomorrow.
Yeah, that's why you need that follow-up with the primary care physician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's only out through tomorrow. She has to return on Thursday, which
Call that
hopefully,
number first thing in the morning, Scott.
yeah,
Get the appointment, and then you can,
yeah.
you know.
But yeah, so yeah, it's been fun. I try to show her. I try to let her watch a video today. Somebody had taken a cell phone video from Stagecoach.
Right.
Stagecoach show that just happened this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a Carrie Underwood show. And at the end of it, or towards the end of it, she did "Sweet Child of Mine" in Paradise City.
Oh.
And brought out Axl Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Like, awesome.
Wow!
Yeah.
That must have been a show, huh?
Yeah, right. And but of course the lights and shit all flashing. It was fucking with her. I'm like, oh, never mind. Don't watch.
Right. Yeah, don't watch, Kim.
or try to show her these videos that Reed Timmer had just put up.
Mm-hmm.
And those everybody that knows Reed Timmer, he is a storm chaser.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's fully on YouTube and Facebook. But he's on the last one in, I think, Andover, Kansas. He used drone footage. It took drones up during a tornado.
Right.
And some of the shots that they have from that was crazy.
Right.
And so it's like, wow. Just thinking of the technology we have now, kind of making everything look the way it does.
Yeah.
What's up, Tom? Hey, Tom, have a good night, buddy.
Night, Tom.
Sunday's
Night,
episode.
Tom.
They're going to interview a woman responsible for our existence. Ooh.
He's
the
got
missus.
a date with his mama.
Oh, yeah, that's right. His wife. Oh, that's his mom.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to interview their mom?
Probably for Mother's Day.
Oh, wow.
Mother's Day is on Sunday.
Oh, shit, it is, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is right.
Don't forget those women in your life.
Yep, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So one other thing I want to touch on, and then I'm going to let Lynn Girl have the show, and we'll discuss all the nerd stuff.
Oh, okay.
One of the last Houston show, which is the third to last show on the current Bon Jovi tour leg.
Mm-hmm.
Houston, Texas. There's been videos floating around about John lip syncing during "Living on a Prayer," and mainly because all the other shows he'd stand in front of the microphone, looking out towards the crowd, hold the microphone like this while singing. And of course, he's in his 67, something like that, years old. He's not going to hit the friggin' notes like they did in '85.
Right. Of course.
But hey, General Shanti.
Hey, Shanti.
And anyways, everybody's been throwing kind of, in the 80s term we used to use, a cow about it.
Right.
And I understand he's been against all these bands using backing tracks and whatnot. And the crazy thing for me is, I don't know if they used a previous show or if they've used like a sound check. Because when the song starts, the mic, his at one point he speaks in the microphone. Once upon a time, not so long ago. Then he moves back, sticks an arm up in the air, and brings the microphone to his face. And where it's supposed to be, Tommy worked on the docks. You don't get that. You get on the docks. I'm like, what the hell? Why would you cut the mic and then bring it back? And then there's a couple portions where all of a sudden it sounds like Living on a Prayer from Slippery When Wet album. You know, the voice.
Interesting.
So of course I'm thinking, well, maybe they're using auto-tune. You know, I mean that's the thing nowadays. You know, but anyways, I know a lot of people are throwing a fit about it. How dare he? I'm like, you know what, guys? And I'm just as guilty. Anybody that's listening to this show, listen to every episode or whatnot, you guys know I am constantly bitching about Vince Neil and how bad he's gotten, how bad he doesn't do the words or just seems to fluff it. And you know what? I thought about this after all this, and I thought, you know what? I'm grateful that these guys are still out there trying to do it.
True, but on the other hand, from somebody who's on a budget, and if I'm going to pay money, especially the money that Bon Jovi charges for a concert, I want the real deal. You know, like, if you're not able to sing the song, skip the song. If you're not able to sing anything, then those ticket prices better come down, and you better be telling me that you're faking it, you know?
Right.
Bon Jovi tickets are not cheap.
Well, but that's the thing is, like, are they really the ones setting the prices, or is it Live Nation?
It's probably a little bit of both. I mean, like, I know, like, money comes out for Live Nation, money comes out for the venue itself, money comes out for the band, you know, and little people in between. But they still have a say over it.
Right. And I agree. I mean, at least come out, like Motley Crue tried to sit here and say, oh, they've been using backing tapes since 89, since the Feel Good tour. And because I guess some point they heard fans say, I want what it sounds like on the album. I'm sorry. If you want the fucking album, listen to the album. Don't go to the show. The album.
I agree with that.
I want the four guys up there fucking just singing, even if it isn't even near what it sounds like on the album, because I look at Dr. Feelgood and I look through all the backing vocals, and there's some songs we got Steven Tyler, Bryan Adams, and I'm like, well, fuck, where are them guys on stage?
Right.
I mean, if that's the case, you want the album, we need everybody who did backing vocals for each of these albums. You know, and that's where, I mean, for me, it's like, you know, agreed on the price needs to fucking come down, definitely.
Yeah.
Because again, you know, I know I watched one video and guys like, well, just think Paul McCartney's about ready to start his next tour, and I'm thinking, oh God, somebody really can't sing.
Yeah.
Shit, was in fucking 90s or 80s or 90s. Fuck.
Like, be transparent, you know, like,
right.
I want to know where my money's going to. And if I find out, like, I'm paying like $120 a ticket to see somebody lip sync, I'm not going to be happy. You know, I would feel like rioting.
As DB said here, Live Nation loves to rip you off in some way. Yeah, they like to stick it up the ass without giving a reach around. Sorry, Kel.
Absolutely. No, it's okay. I've heard that phrase many times in my life.
Well, that's true. You are married to DB. Oh, Lord. But yeah, I mean, you know, the thing was, it's like the end of the show. I mean, I saw a guy that did, the only thing I would be pissed off of if I was Houston is the fact that the show before, Austin, Texas, they got 4 songs in encore.
Wow.
Wanted Dead or Alive, Bad Medicine. I know they finished off with I'll Always Be There For You. And then in between was that one that Who Said You Can't Go Home. Right. And then when they did the Houston show, they went off stage after Living on a Prayer, came back for only Wanted Dead or Alive, and left the stage.
Oh.
Now, I mean, me personally, the show before gets 4 fucking encores, I get 1, that's where I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's where I draw my fucking line, because, you know, like I was telling Kim,
disappointing.
You know, like I told Kim, you know, especially in the internet age now, where we can, if you're like even 4th or 5th show in, you're gonna find out the set list.
Yeah.
Which is great, because, you know, maybe before I was now listening to 12 fucking albums. Now I could go, okay, here's the 15 songs I need to listen to.
Yeah.
in case there's a few in there I don't know, especially when we're talking like some of these 80s groups like Bon Jovi, Poison, even Motley Crue. I don't always know their newest shit.
Right.
It's not like I'm sitting here like 1983 and cranking fucking Shout the Devil every day for 6 months and learning all the lyrics.
Right.
Nowadays, it's like I'll listen to one here, one there, and a song here and there, or I'll listen to the album once,
Right.
and then I move on to something else. I mean, it's like the same thing with movies. Movies, I don't watch shit over and over and over and over like I used to.
Right.
I mean, I have still yet to put in the Rise of Skywalker. We own the fucking. It's our only 4K movie on disc, and I've never put it in. And I mean, okay, is part of it because it's the end? Is part of it because is part of it because of the mess of the sequels?
I'm sure that's the other part.
I mean, I can agree with Dawn where, yeah, I can honestly say I do like The Last Jedi in parts.
Right.
There's some good stuff there, but the problem is you went one direction here, another direction here, and again, too many chiefs, not enough, or too many chefs, not enough cooks. Too many Swedish chefs around.
I hear ya.
Yeah, but so what we got going on in nerdom?
Well, tomorrow's May the 4th. I mean, this is May.
Right?
We're finally in May, you guys.
Exactly.
That came fast.
Right.
But yeah, tomorrow is Star Wars Day, fan-made holiday. So we have all of those fun things to do tomorrow.
Of course.
Probably going to be making some Princess Leia cinnamon buns.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of ironic because again, go 4 years ago, May the 4th was on a release day for Use and Abuse Pod, and we did I think I talked about John Williams that day. Not a complete deep dive into John Williams, but just enough.
Right.
To suffice the May the 4th for it. And of course, how great for the Escape Pod guys. I mean, they got 420, and now they get May the 4th.
And they also have May the 25th, which is the 45th anniversary of Star Wars.
I believe it's been 45 years.
45 years.
I think back, and of course, I didn't get to see the first one in the theater. But I had friends who were into it, and that's how I got into it. And my first movie was Empire in the theater. And it wasn't until after Empire that I finally saw A New Hope, which is what now is titled A New Hope.
Right. Because back then it was just Star Wars, because it was going to be multiple episodes.
Right.
And Nicole says, make sure to set out macaroons or frog legs for Grogu tonight. And chalky milk and chicken nuggies.
Right. Oh my gosh. That reminds me back to when we won the escape rate. And there was that Grogu in there.
Yeah.
And Kim just went crazy. Speaking of which, I'm gonna jump off camera for a minute, or jump me out of the stream for a minute. I gotta go grab something that I got her for a belated Easter present. So I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Hi, everybody. I'm feeling like Garth on Wayne's World right now. Somebody say something in the chat. I don't know what to talk about. So here I am. Heinz Scott Show. Woohoo. Pretty on Nicole. I don't know what to do with my hands. Brady, something in the chat. Thank you, Brady. Brady, now I understand what you go through when Don has to go pee. So it's totally that, isn't it? Yay, Scott's back.
Oh, fuck. Talk about coming back right at the wrong moment. Oh, shit. Anyways. Yeah, so since we're on getting close to May the 4th, today is May the 3rd, tomorrow's May the 4th, and we are the Star Wars month.
Mm-hmm. Oh, chip clips. They're adorable.
I saw those at Walmart, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
Definitely.
I had to pick those up because, I mean, it's funny. I remember when we first watched the first, was it episode 1, wasn't it? Of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
When Grogu showed up.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the hell? Of course, I think everybody at that moment, Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
But damn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, we know Sidebar touched on it yesterday.
Yeah.
And me and you were in the chat, so we weren't able to get, and the Escape Pod guys, they all give their opinions.
Yeah.
What's your opinion of upcoming Kenobi?
Oh, well, I know we're going to have Vader. Whether it's in a flashback or, live action, I don't know, but I'm very excited about that. There's lots of hot Inquisitor action, so we're going to see, little spinny lightsabers and everything.
Hell yeah.
You know me, give me any and all of the Star Wars. I will take it all.
Yeah.
Even if I don't like it, there's things that I can find in it that I like. Like
I know you were completely, you were definitely the shining light of Book of Boba.
Oh, I loved Book of Boba.
I mean, I remember
Mm-hmm.
me and Kim watching that first episode, and she looked at me, and I looked at her, and went, and she started going on this whole tangent. And I'm like, okay, give the show a chance. Is what I kept saying. But I mean, as far overall, I ended up liking Book of Boba.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, even though I know there was those 2 episodes, I wish kind of they would have left them out.
Right.
And just gave us like Mando 2.5. Here's your 2 episodes to tie you over until we come out with season 3.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
It's floating around the rumor mill that we might get it sooner rather than later. So who knows? Maybe we might get season 3 in the fall instead of around Christmas time.
I know the rumors I've heard are kind of like what you're saying. And also, I heard not until 2023.
It's supposed to be released in 2023, so they better not mess anything up with that. So yeah.
I mean,
it's my girl. Everybody knows that. Swede got me into Ahsoka, by the way. Swede was the one that talked me into watching the Clone Wars for the first time. What, like 3, 4, 5 years ago? I don't even remember. But Swede's the one that got me into Clone Wars. So Ahsoka became like my girl, and it's like, gosh, she's right up there, just underneath Leia. So I am really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I asked him that question. That was, and by the way, those of you that are listening to the show, go to check out the ATSW, the Escape Pod on Twitter, and vote in their current poll.
Oh yeah, go vote in the poll. Right. They're going to be talking about it tomorrow on the show.
Yep. And I asked Kim, I said, what was her choice? And she said Han Chewie. You went, really? What am I supposed to say? R2 and C3PO? I'm like, really?
Yeah. Not
no.
R2, yeah. C3PO,
yeah,
meh.
C3PO. But for me, it will always be Leia.
Yeah. Leia's always going to be my princess.
Yep.
She's my queen. And then she became the Disney princess. And I'm like, yes, I finally have my own Disney princess. So
exactly. But I mean, she was my first crush. I mean, again, like I said, I didn't get to see the first one in 77. But in 80, I did get to see Empire, and I was 11. You're going to be 11 years old that year.
Right?
Well, you start noticing girls a little bit differently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then of course, by the time 83 rolled around, and whew, that outfit, woo,
Slave Leia?
yeah,
Is it still called Slave Leia?
probably not.
Yeah. Does anybody know if Slave Leia is still called Slave Leia? Slave Leia?
I mean,
Talk tonight.
Boba Fett's ship is now Boba Fett's ship.
I am still catching up on recovering from the weekend myself. Hut Slayer Leia now. Okay, Hut Slayer Leia. Okay. I got it. Hut Slayer Leia. Stay
Okie dokie.
out.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I thought they
Yeah.
changed her.
Oh yeah,
Sure. And tomorrow is actually the official 5-year anniversary of the Sidebar Cantina.
No.
They'll be celebrating it in a few weeks on their. They're going to combine it with their 250th episode. So in 3 more weeks, they'll be doing 250 and 5-year anniversary on the same night.
Nice.
So yeah. So that's really cool.
So is the 251 gonna be one of those one like we did on the supposed 151 that
Yeah, right.
Split into 3 friggin' parts and only part 1 got released?
250 part 1 and part 3. 2 is for the YouTube audience only.
Yeah, I guess so, Oh Lord. Yeah, that
meme.
yeah, that was crazy. Oh gosh, but I think it's funny. Again, I know they were talking about it last night where Don was bringing up that they were kind of reviewed by, gosh, what the hell do you call it? What was that name of that show?
A podcast reviewer.
Yeah, podcast reviewer, and he was wondering what the hell ATSW stood for.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, those of us in the know already know that answer.
I find myself telling a lot of people too, and telling the story of it. All things Star Wars.
Yep.
Once upon a time, there was a podcast called All Things Star Wars.
Yeah, and then it morphed into from a Gen X point of view, and then it went to the Sidebar Cantina, and that's where it's at now.
Yepers.
Better be where it stays.
It will. I don't see them rebranding anytime in the future, and they it was a little bit wonky trying to run all of those socials at once, so I'm glad we only have one now.
Right.
Thank God.
I know, because I mean, when they're doing the Gen X point of view stuff, it was like, okay, but when we do Star Wars related stuff, we'll go back to all. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And I was posting on all of them. So it's like, thank you for going down to one.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that now? You got that plus the Red 5, and then of course helping Don out every so often when he needs help. You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine that? Like all these different. Oh gosh.
But I am looking for an assistant for Red 5 Gaming, so
I would.
helping me out right now.
Oh Lord. Well, what else we got going on in nerddom?
Well, Saturday is National Free Comic Book Day.
Right on.
So I know what I'm doing on Saturday. I'll be heading out to well, unfortunately, I don't have a local comic book shop, so I'll be taking a nice ride, hopefully with a Padawan or two, and finding somebody else's local comic book shop to get some free comic books and
Right on.
all the nerd stuff. I love comic books. I've been reading comics since, well, I used to have Archie comics read to me way back in the early 80s. But I've been reading comics myself since like about 1990, 1991, 89, somewhere around there. So I'm definitely a comic book nerd. It's not the same. I tried getting comic books through the mail, it's not the same for me. I like the experience of actually going into a
Right.
comic book store and browsing everything and picking out my own comics.
Right. I mean, it would be like for me back in the day when you like going into a mom and pop music store.
Yes.
I mean, I every once a year I would get to go experience maybe Tower Records or Sam Goody.
Yeah.
But for me, it was, going to local shops either in Elk or Winnemucca
Hmm.
and browsing the records or browsing the cassettes and then eventually the CDs. And that's, I used to buy shit just by the album cover.
Hmm.
I picked up, matter of fact, Van Halen 5150.
Oh, yeah?
I love the album cover with the guy like almost it reminded me a little bit like Lou Ferrigno from The Incredible Hulk. So it was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of fun, like fuck, I'll pick it up.
Right. Right.
And I totally forgot that David Lee Roth was no longer in the band,
Hmm.
and that was Sammy Hagar. So this is like, and the
Hmm.
very first song is actually the same song that's on Spaceballs. When they're in the cafe at the end,
Oh,
you
yeah.
hear that
Yeah.
that part that starts,
Mhm.
"Hello, baby,"
Mhm.
and it hits that guitar. That's Van Halen,
Right. That's
and
cool.
so that was the very first song on the album, and it was like, holy crap!
Hmm.
And yeah, I ended up liking it. I trying to think who else. What else? Iron Maiden Live After Death. I
Hmm.
bought that by the album cover. I didn't even know it was a fucking live record or live album
Right.
until I got home and listened to it. But it was just like fucking that cover of Eddie coming out of the grave. I'm like, yeah, like
Hmm.
that shit. But yeah, I mean, I would buy music just by the album cover,
Right. Right.
and I can never ever think of getting anything that I didn't like.
Right. Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
I can totally relate to the comic book thing because I mean, well, I didn't go to in our small town of Battle Mountain, Nevada, we didn't have comic book stores.
Right.
But when I get a chance to go like to a mall where they had some, it was cool looking through them.
Hmm.
And
We used to, when we were kids, there was a tiny little pharmacy in a few towns over, the town that I actually went to school in. And they had like a little tiny section just for comic books. So we were usually allowed to get like one comic book a month. And of course, I had to share it with my brother, but nobody else was really into comic books in my family anyway. So just my brother and I. And we used to, share. Usually it was X-Men. I loved, obsessively loved X-Men comic books.
nice.
A few years ago, I would say about 10 years ago, two towns over from where I live now in Hawley, they actually opened up a comic book shop and it was very successful. It was probably open for 5 or 6 years. Um, they used to, we became such good friends. They used to put all the comics that Chris and I read aside in a bin, and whenever we stopped by they would give us all the comics that had come in the past few weeks. So
Oh, right on. That's
they
freaking
they
cool.
ended up closing though because they moved several states over, which was really
Oh,
sad, and I still don't have a new comic book shop now.
oh,
But yeah,
that was
go
cool
out,
though.
get some free comics. Everybody our age, go bring your kids. They're
Yeah.
free, and you might see a comic that you actually really love. Their National Free Comic Book Day usually comes out with some great, teasers for future comics, and you might find something that you actually will fall in love with, like a first edition or something like that. Get your kids into it, support small business. It's a really, really good thing that they've done, and it's becoming more popular every single year.
Yeah.
Hmm. So definitely, it's been a big one in our house. I've been trying to collect actually all the X-Men comics that I had when I was a kid, but it's almost impossible. Got a good chunk of them, but not even close to everything that I had when I was little.
Right.
They're just sitting in a big pile on my desk in my room.
Yeah, I remember my sister reading getting the Archie ones.
Hmm.
I had one Star Wars one, which is actually ironic because it was after Return of the Jedi, and it was a deal where Han ends up finding Boba Fett
Yeah.
outside the Sarlacc pit.
Hmm.
And I'm like, how ironic is that?
Yeah.
Later when now he lives, but yeah, it was kind of ironic, and I wish I still had that one. I mean, obviously, I can find it on Marvel, the Marvel Unlimited app,
Of course.
and but I've got a Guns N' Roses comic
Hmm.
back when they were doing those rock and roll comics,
Right.
just
Right.
like when they were doing the rock and roll or the different trading cards
Yeah.
for music at one point to kind of match up with baseball and football cards.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy all this shit they used to do.
DB said that I love the comics so much that the movies do not exist to me in any way. And he is absolutely 100% right.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I like my X-Men, it was the movie. I mean, that's how I got introduced to it was the movies.
Yeah.
Mainly because Kim and Karina, their family kind of grew up on the cartoons.
Yeah.
And so Karina tried to get me to go with them to the theater for X-Men when I'm like, no,
Hmm.
it's not my show.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Hmm.
Don't care about it.
Yeah.
And so when we finally got it on DVD, she begged me to watch it with her. I'm like, all right, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
And then there's that one line where what you expected black and yellow spandex.
Mhm.
Of course, I started laughing at that one because I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Right. Right.
But I've seen 1 and 2,
Hmm.
the first two. I didn't see 3, and I pretty much have seen all of them, all the Wolverine ones,
Right.
except for Logan. That's the only one I haven't seen yet.
Right. Right.
But we own it on digital. We just haven't chosen to watch.
Mhm.
Haven't got around to watching it, should say.
Right. I mean, like, DB and my kids have seen it together and they really enjoyed them, but they weren't the comic book collector that I was with the X-Men.
Right.
So to me it was like the diehard Star Wars fans when they got to The Force Awakens and found out that, there's no Mara Jade and
Yeah.
there's no, like, Leia didn't have twins, and it's like, where's my story?
Right. Exactly.
So that's how I
But
consider it.
and it's also like some fans. I mean, speaking of Star Wars fans, I mean, I know a few who, oh hell no, prequels, no, that is not my Star Wars. Star Wars is the first, is 4, 5, and 6, and that's it.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, but prequels aren't that bad.
No,
They have their moments.
yeah, I really like the prequels.
I
I
did
mean,
too.
they're not my Star Wars. My Star Wars, I'm an OT girl,
Yeah,
but the prequels really weren't that bad, and there are some good parts in the sequels.
right.
Is how
I
I'll say
agree.
it. There were some good parts.
Well, we got anything else going on?
Let's see what else. Well, my daughter is here from Michigan until Sunday, Mother's Day. I'll be in the car driving her and my grandcat to the airport. So
Oh,
love you, Cassie. But I don't really think there's that much more going on.
okay. And of course, just for everybody that's watching,
Mm.
check out Rogue One Radio later tonight.
Yeah, Rogue One Radio, 8 p.m. Eastern, 876, 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time.
Yep.
And we'll be talking about Moon Knight episode 5, The Asylum with Dragon Buddy.
Which I haven't even watched episode 1.
Mm-hmm. I watched episode 1 and I really need to watch the rest of them because I was just reminded today that I'm doing a podcast over at Comics and Cosmetics on Sunday reviewing
The whole season?
Yeah, especially the season finale. And I'm like, oh crap, I only saw the first one. Been a little bit busy the past month or so.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh gosh. But no. Well, Lynn Girl, thank you for jumping on and helping me out with this one. I mean, it's been a fun episode. It's been great talk and
just laid back chill stream.
Yeah, without having major topics to talk, like something like, oh, we got to do this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
But
Kim, I love you, Kim. Keep us posted. Keep healing. Rest. Stay away from those computer screens. Stay hydrated. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And call it on the back of that card.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else, I should actually put this out there. Anyone in the Red 5 Network or whoever, if you've seen the movie or want to watch it, a movie called Time Bandits, it is on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing if Kim Bell will be available part of the show next week. If you want to watch it, I'm going to watch it. I'll have anybody on the show who wants to come on and talk about Time Bandits.
Mm-hmm.
That is an old 80s flick. And hey Steve, there better be a release of a song this week. Later tonight.
I hope so.
Anyways, guys, until next week.
Mm-hmm.
That is Lunar Girl. She is the curator of the Red 5 Network. She knows everything that's going on. If you want to know what's going on in the Red 5 Network, just hook her up. Just
send me a DM over at go to any of the Sidebar Cantina socials. bio.link/the Sidebar Cantina, one word, and DM. I'll be at the other end, so I can easily help you navigate the Red 5 Network.
Exactly.
There is something for everyone.
That is for sure.
Network. Mm-hmm.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
And until next week, when I come back and talk about Time Bandits, which I just a couple of weeks ago learned it was actually written by a few of the guys from the Monty Python group. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. And it was ironic because I had never seen Monty Python until Dave and Jason did their show on it, but I had seen Time Bandits.
Right.
But anyways, until next week, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Be kind, everyone. Peace.
Bye, friends.
There's another button hit here. I know where it is, too. Here we go.
We're collecting their grub.
Next to me is rubber-based card. We got
Dominic and his son, they're here.
This podcast is part of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts, visit red5network.com.